Welcome back to the show, people. Welcome back to Next Round Ready. I'm your host, Chris. Today we have Phan from the Oregon AI Accelerator. I'm super excited so we can have another conversation about accelerators and if they can help you as a founder, if you need to sign up, all of those good things. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me and talking about this topic. I love it.
And so, what got you to the accelerator level? I know you've been in the startup world for decades. You have a ton of experience with this Oregon AI Accelerator. It's a new one popping up, right?
It is a brand new accelerator that's popped up here. It's been in the works for about a year and a half as far as putting this together, a collaborative effort here from the AI perspective. But I wasn't involved that early on. I'm a longtime entrepreneur. I've helped many founders and mentored them through that growth stage. I've had my own exits as well along the way. I realizing what this accelerator was doing or trying to achieve kind of just was a good fit because I was already doing that work. I've helped six companies launch in the past 4 months by accelerating what they were doing and how they were doing it, and realizing that there is an opportunity to do this at a larger scale if I had the right support behind me.
Yeah, and what's that larger scale that you're shooting for? Because I find that now that I'm talking to more of the people who actually run accelerators, everybody's long-term goal is like different, which I think is good. So it's always interesting to learn what that long-term vision is.
Yeah, yeah. The work I've been doing has accelerated quickly because of AI. I've been helping founders, working with founders. I take on different roles. I've scaled companies from 0 to 50 million, from 40 to 150 million. I've had my own $30 million exit bootstrapped. I've also raised over $30 million in cash. So for me, I've seen a large variety of different ways of doing things. And for me, an accelerator applied to Y Combinator, Techstars, help companies go through those things as well. For me, the accelerator is really the work that I've been doing like a venture studio more so than an accelerator, which is helping people just identify where their gaps are and helping them grow and scale and take that first step or second step to get them from 0 to 1. Most companies have an idea and what they want to build, or they've built a prototype, but they get stuck in this zone of trying to create the perfect plan or trying to create the perfect solution, and never taking that first step, or afraid to take that first step because of a lack of knowledge. Where I jump in is from an accelerator standpoint is I accelerate the growth, right? And so my long-term vision is how can I help more founders create more solutions to problems that the world is facing? Really be impactful in that as well. With the Oregon AI Accelerator, my focus is not on just hey, become a next unicorn and make a lot of money. The focus is on where's the impact that you can create and how can you solve problems. And there's so many problems. We need more people, especially people with skills that are leaving the corporate workspace, to be able to build solutions to real problems. And that's really my goal long term is how many new entrepreneurs can I create as part of this flywheel that they can then go and help the next generation of entrepreneurs solve even more problems.
Love that breakdown. So I heard about some AI boot camp you had this year. You had about 40 founders. What did you really learn from working with those founders in that time period?
Yeah, no, it was very interesting. The boot camp, we found like there were a lot of people who were trying to figure out how can I use AI? What can I do with it? I'm dabbling in it, or I think there's ways to improve the business I currently have or the ideas that I have. And what that bootcamp was really focused on was to, share that knowledge from the foundational stuff of what you'll need to understand in using AI. And again, this was the summer, which things have changed very fast in this AI
Yeah.
world we live in today. But what I found was, a lot of founders didn't know how to monetize in this space of AI, what to look out for, what tools to use, and what approach they should take. And so the boot camp was successful from the standpoint of we started to create more awareness around understanding, building a business in today's world is not like it was 10 years ago, not like it was 15 or 20 or 30 years ago, right? My first startup was Web 1.0, in the era of you needed server rooms with millions of dollars of equipment and technology and, low bandwidth internet speeds, physical offices, right? And then, I went from there to, okay, well, maybe you need a couple $100,000 because there's stuff that's on, the cloud now. And then it goes to, okay, maybe you need $50,000 to hire a team because everything lives in the cloud. You can be remote now. $20 in a weekend and some knowledge, and you can actually build things, right? Um,
Right? It's fast. I've tried some of the no code builders and I built a couple apps. I knew the game changed when I went and built an app in like 2 days and then I made money the third day. That's what I knew. Okay, the world has changed forever. Like anything that you almost anything you know about business is wrong now just because everything is so much faster and quicker. It's very, very different from anything you'll learn in business school. I mean, they have to adjust as well because everything is so fast. Like I didn't expect ChatGPT, and I think that's the biggest. It made the most impact the earliest because it was so, I would say, popular. But once that became more mainstream, things have taken off. It's absurd now. It's going really fast.
it is going super fast. I mean, you think about ChatGPT basically launching with 3.5, right? Their GPT 3.5. That means there were, two other versions or three other versions before that. And so it's been out there. The ability to understand, cognitive, thinking processes as well as, language models for conversational usage was out there. And the leap from, ChatGPT 3.5 to ChatGPT was 10x, right? And so you figured ChatGPT 3 at a 155 IQ level, which is Elon Musk, Einstein was 180. It multiplied by 10 times, right? When it got to ChatGPT 4, we're on ChatGPT 5. Where is ChatGPT 6 gonna come in, right?
Man.
And we're training it on everything that we know and all the content and materials we have, and telling it to, learn from that and create new solutions. I mean, keep in mind, ChatGPT 5 or 3.5 wasn't trained to do mathematical equations. So when you asked it 1.1, it might give you 3 because it wasn't trained. So it's only doing what it's trained on. And so the power where we're at today is it's continuing to be trained on higher levels of knowledge. And at some point, we're going to stop training it, and it's going to start training the next model, the next version. That's where you get to AGI and whatnot. One point I wanted to make on people are dabbling in creating these products and solutions and or creating these cool tools that can generate income and money for them. I think that's great. Where I focus on is what's the real problem that you're trying to solve, and if you can do that well, can you solve it for many people and build a solution that is scalable and allows you to solve problems as opposed to just generating income, and you can do both, right?
Yeah, I definitely think you can do both. And that kind of ties into my next question. Why AI focused? Because there are a ton of accelerators, I think, in different verticals and different spaces, healthcare, bio, all the different things. But this is, I think, one of the first I'm seeing that's on this level. Like you're already working with Google. So it's obvious you're making some really fast traction. What was really the focus here to set this up and why Portland?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Why Portland? Why Oregon? Right? I think Oregon is in an interesting position. We have some unique ways of looking at things, but also grounded in sustainability, grounded in craftsmanship, grounded in creativity and collaboration. Right? One of the things that I focus on in my career and really growing up here in Oregon, specifically in Portland, is the collaborative side. Work with others. I'm not trying to step on others or squash people down to say that I am the best, right? I really want to say, how can we work together so we can both succeed and be successful? And I think a lot of the mindset of Silicon Valley is like, I want to become a unicorn. I want to squash the competition. I want to do these things, right? Even Seattle's like, I want to be the dominant number one, right? Well, in this age of AI today, if you don't know what to do or how to use AI, and your mindset is still in that, I'm going to be the dominant number one, there's Silicon Valley. You can go down there. You can go to Seattle. You can go to Austin, wherever you want to go. Or actually, Austin's more like Portland. But we're grounded in where's the biggest impact we can create with AI. AI is going to be a part of everything that we do. And if you haven't realized that now, you need to start implementing or from efficiencies to knowledge to creating opportunities for you to have more human interactions with humans, right? And so you take the tedious tasks away, or you create new solutions to problems that need to be solved. And so that's why Oregon has this collaborative effort, and the Oregon AI Accelerator is really focused on, working with the state, with all the universities, with the organizations like OEN, TI, and TAO, right? We're working together. We're not trying to take credit. I'm not trying to take credit to say we're doing and this is how we're doing it. It's, what's our focus? It's on the entrepreneurs, on the founders, and giving them resources. And in this age of AI, there's a lot of AI resources that can help them get to where they need to get to quicker, and or integrate the AI tools into their product to make it better and scalable.
So one of the things that I learned in reading about the Oregon AI Accelerator is that you're not taking equity. I think this is huge in the accelerator space, specifically AI companies, because they're just getting most of the funding right now. Like they're growing the fastest. It's absurd. So why no equity? That seems like an industry standard on the accelerator level.
It is. And being a founder myself, I've raised, $26 million and, sold that company and didn't really make much. And it wasn't, great. You were dictated by the board and what they wanted to do. Then I've also bootstrapped a company with, $5,000 and sold it for 30 million, right? There's a rewarding experience there and ability to do what you can do when you are able to build leverage, create data points and scalability, and understanding your business and iterating over and over and over again, right? So a lot of founders, when you get stuck in this cycle of, hey, I got to go out and raise, 50,000 or get a 200,000 or 50, 500,000, a million, whatever that is, you're going to give up equity really early on because you haven't created any leverage. You haven't shown traction. You haven't, done the things that you need to do. And in this age of AI, people are going to do things very, very fast. So the more that you are focused on raising capital and trying to get to the next round and solve problems, the more you're going to be less able to execute as a founder in the true passion that you had, because you're going to be stuck in this mode. I've been there. I ran a company as the CEO for the last 4 years after transforming that platform into an AI platform and taking over as CEO. Well, it wasn't fun for me because it was a venture funded company, and we had to make decisions based on what they wanted, and we had to make decisions based on getting to that next funding round so they can get their return, right? And meanwhile, I'm like, God, we focus on solving these problems for these customers. We can do that now. We can get more customers, right? And so it's just different in ways of thinking about it. And so what I want to work with from an accelerator standpoint is really, let's just build, right? And don't worry about your equity stake. Let's build that leverage and that traction. And I know, many seed funds and VCs around here will say the same thing. It's like, yeah, come to us with traction and leverage and numbers and data and customers, and you're better off at that point. And whether you need the money or not, that's actually the perfect time to be looking at it, because you have created that leverage. And so, with the collaborative effort, what we're doing, we're not trying to take equity from companies. We're trying to empower them, give them opportunity to grow and learn, gain the knowledge, build the traction. And when you need to, if you need to scale because you have the data, that's when you should be raising money.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So how do you actually coordinate with your partners without it being a design by committee, right? Because you said you're working with PSU, with Oregon State, with Oregon, like with all of these companies, even Google. How do you make sure that things kind of stay aligned with all of these big, big partners?
Yeah, no, it's really a collaborative effort, right? The committee is put together by folks from Tao and Atai and OEN and people from the business schools of OHSU and OSU, PSU, Metro Region Innovation Hub. These are all the organizations that are, and Business Oregon, the state of Oregon. It's like they're going to work together because they're all contributing to this from a steering committee perspective. I'm coming in with, the execution side of things and my experience of, I'm doing this already, right? And how can I do this at scale? And if we're going to do this at scale, we're going to have to do it in a way that is collaborative amongst the different members. And I'm leading this right now, but we'll need, Google's providing the funding for this initial pilot, but it's not, needed to be have to use Google products or do anything. It's really about the ecosystem, and really why I took on this role and leading this right now is I'm focused on helping founders and entrepreneurs have an impact. And if there are people who want to try to jump in and say, oh, we're doing this or we're doing that or this is all about us, then it's not a fit for what we're trying to do. Our job is to help founders. All these organizations, these universities, these incubators, accelerators, your goal should be helping founders, right? And first and foremost. And if you do that successfully, things will come, things will happen. Same thing with any business. If you do that successfully, money will come. right? So I'm in a fortunate position to be able to do this with my capacity and what I'm doing now. And I'm hoping that other accelerators or incubators can be excited and see what we're doing and replicate that, because I can't help everybody. And the more people
Right.
that can do what I'm doing can help even more people.
And so is it like, I think I read that you were doing a hybrid model where some in person, some in Portland, like, or some virtual. How does it actually work? Because I'm seeing some accelerators that only want in person. People who are local who can go to their co-working space and different things like that.
Yeah, so we're testing out these different ideas, right? I've seen accelerators that try to do everything online because it's you can get more people and have a global presence. I think for this one, because of how we're approaching this, we want to have organ impact. So there is a hybrid model that we're approaching this to say, okay, there are certain weeks that you should be here because it's good to connect with the community, interact with the different events and workshops and people, and just being around the energy of entrepreneurs
It's
allows
different.
you to, it's
Yeah.
different, and you have to experience that in person. And then the other times you just need to be able to focus and work on things, and you have life and flexibility around things that you're doing. Yeah, we'll have some of these events and check-ins and curriculum online, right? We have mentors that you don't have to meet with in person. Mentors will be matched on a speed dating, three mentors to a founder, but you'll be able to meet with them an hour a week, right? Be able to do that virtually. But the more that you're here in this community and available, and we have co-working space here that you actually be here the entire time because we have desk space and offices and whatnot that you can be working on and connect with other people. But that energy, that mindset of entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs, it's contagious. And so I know
It
that because
is.
I exude a lot of energy, and I know that, and people will draw from that and pull in that energy. And I draw from others' energies as well. So if we can do that collaboratively here in person, that's going to be something that's going to be fun and exciting as well.
That makes sense. Okay, so what does the actual program look like in terms of that 12 week plan? Is it like courses, is specific time frames? Is it, the one-on-one time? Is it just group things? Like what does that look like for the actual founder? I'm trying to understand the founder experience.
Yeah, so applications are happening now. Once we get through kind of screening, we'll interview and get the applicants through and approved and notified. But it'll start in February 2nd. The first 2 weeks will be in person here with the focus of onboarding, connecting, founder circles, and really mentor matching and really identifying, what are you trying to build, what are you trying to solve, and how are you doing that? Get that foundation down, and then making sure that you're actually thinking about these things, focusing on the tech and what you're building and how amazing it is why are you building it and what are you solving and how you're doing that. Then people will get to work in the next couple of weeks to refine that, gain the mentorship and build a solid foundation. If you haven't built yet or you've started to build and you need to get the better prototype or MVP, then again, it's not just software. There's physical, medical devices. There are biotech. There's robotics and image sensors and scanners, right? That people are building AI within that as well. So from that perspective, you're going to have different focus areas. We'll have workshops here. We have events that are happening all the time. Founders will be able to join these workshops and meet people, network, and maybe even find a co-founder or someone who can help their team. And then they'll come back in March from 1 week in person. And again, we'll start focusing on go-to-market strategy. We'll start focusing on the research layer, the competitive layer. Identifying the tech stack you're using, right, and really going more into, what other options have you explored, or how are you leveraging AI to build your product and or get feedback on your product, right? And then we'll get into a couple of weeks they'll be able to continue to take that knowledge and refine it and gain from it, and then we'll go into the third week where we really focus on more go-to-market strategy, where it's like, okay, who are the partners that you need to start working with? Who are the the users that you want to sit user testing and data from, and how are you going to get this out there to people? So the whole process is really there's a foundational layer, there is a discovery layer, and then there is a layer of execution, right? All that to finally, work through the next couple of weeks to get to the last 2 weeks of the program, which is, are you investor ready, pitch ready, and you're gonna go, at the Oregon Innovation Showcase or PDX Startup Week, and you're gonna be there pitching on stage to all these investors and leaders and corporate leaders and people who are looking for companies like you that solve problems. You're gonna be there. You're going to show them what you've gained in traction and leverage and investor ready, whether you need the investment or not. That this is where you should be by the time you graduate from the program.
I like that. And so, what's your strategy after that demo day? Because I find that I've talked to over 100 founders when I did my research for this show who told me that one of their biggest frustrations is that after demo day at their accelerator, it was like the momentum was falling off a cliff. There was no results from investors. Now they go to different events and they're chasing investors around. They get no traction on that. Then they go on LinkedIn and they're like spamming all the investors, but still nothing. So as you run an accelerator, what's your game plan?
Yeah, ideally for me is I want to get companies that can be self-sustaining and bootstrapped and do it on their own, right? They should have a roadmap of how they can do that on their own. They should not have to need money unless they're ready to scale. And when you're ready to scale, you will get the attention of investors, right? And so we'll get you pitch ready. We'll get you out there pitching and talking about your business. But we also want to help you build a future roadmap of, okay, now that you've gotten this far, what's your bootstrap plan? What is your ability to scale and grow with revenue versus at what point will you be break even or need capital, right? And to accelerate what you're doing, is this market opportunity, a window where there's real interest in different investors that are looking for these solutions to add to their portfolio. So these are things that we want to guide the founders through as well. My unique take on this is, of the 6 companies I just helped launch in the past 4 months, none of them are taking any capital in because they came to me originally with, I need $50,000 to start this. I need $25,000 to build this and do that. And now they're at a point where I'm getting checks in for $2,500, right? Per customer, right? I'm getting checks in for $1,200 on a SaaS model, recurring subscription. All of a sudden it's like, wait, if I get to 100, if I get to 200 or 500, I am break even. I can make, I'm already making money. So now it's about scale, right? And that's the point when you can go out and raise capital. So if I can help, companies, founders, startups understand the value of what they're actually building to demonstrate that value, they'll be investor ready. Now, whether they take the capital or not is a different story. But I've talked to investors on the opposite side. They don't like, yeah, we would love to be able to invest in companies that have proven traction, leverage, and revenue. And if we can make those connections, the investors would love that even more.
Love this, man. This sounds like it's going to be an incredible accelerator. I'm excited. I'll definitely have to make the trip down there to see everything, one of the events, meet everybody, definitely connect with you in person. Jack, thank you for being such an incredible guest. I know the application window is probably closed by the time you guys are hearing this, but make sure you stay on the radar for the Oregon AI Accelerator.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate the time here and great conversation. Look forward to meeting you as well.